everybody, before we get started, I just want to ask that you comment, like, and subscribe. It really does help me out when it comes to my videos' visibility, and it also helps me out when it comes to monetization. So please like, comment, and subscribe. What's up, everybody? Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. Okay, so big news on the Rivera front as far as me and my experimenting and my personal growth and whatever you want to call it. Friday night, just the other night, 2 nights ago, it's now Sunday, I, for the first time, tripped on acid. All of my friends have been doing acid lately. All of my friends have been talking about acid lately. And it wasn't really like a peer pressure type thing where I felt like I had to do it or anything like that. Because anybody that knows anything about me knows that I'm going to do what I'm going to do and I'm not going to do what I'm not going to do. So it wasn't that kind of situation. It was just a thing of, I had been hearing about it, and like friends had always talked about it, and lately a lot of friends have been doing it, and they've been talking about, you know, self-discovery and how they kind of figured things out about themselves on their acid trips and that kind of stuff. Mine was that way. I didn't do a lot, just one hit, but what I did end up realizing was it was more than like discovering things. It was more like just reaffirming things that I already knew. Like when I was at the peak of my trip, I really had this overwhelming sense of I'm in the right city, I'm doing things the right way, I'm hanging out with the people that actually care about me. Because for me, having the right friends has never been about social climbing or networking or any of that kind of stuff. There have been points where I've had friends that have been able to do things for me and help me out with my career, but that's never been my drive or my focus when it comes to hanging out with people. Because I feel like if you're working hard, you're going to get to where it is you need to be anyway. So it doesn't really matter who you're hanging out with. You can still, in my opinion, get ahead. But I always have wanted to be around people that I feel like are helping me grow and that I can help them grow. And when it comes to career, like, yeah, that's the best of both worlds when you can live a life like I'm living right now, where I'm in Las Vegas, I hang out with a bunch of other comedians that want to get ahead in stand-up. There's a lot of cases where I can help them get ahead, but then there's also cases where they can help me get ahead. And sometimes they don't even realize how much it is they're helping me by such small gestures. You know, sometimes it's not the big stuff. It's not like I need you to pay me $1 million. I mean, like $1 million would be nice, but that's not in a lot of cases what I need when I'm hanging out on the comedy scene. A lot of times when I'm on the comedy scene, the main thing I need is to be treated like any other comic when it comes to me going on stage. Sometimes things are going to go well, sometimes things aren't going to go so well. When I'm at an open mic, you know, when I'm getting paid for a show, I try to make sure they always go right. But when I'm hanging out at an open mic, I'm really trying to work on stuff. Well, the whole time that I've been here in Vegas, I felt like the other comedians really have my back. And, you know, through my personal situations, my breakup and stuff like that, everybody's really helpful for me. And so when I was on acid, really, that was one of the things that I really did feel overwhelmingly. I just felt like I'm here, I'm loved, I'm where I need to be. Then there's also the fact that, and I always say this, and it's not in a bad way, I think everybody should think this way, even though I try not to do too many value judgments. But when it comes to this, I don't think this is a bad thing. I really am my own best friend. So I was hanging out with 2 people that were really taking care of me. And I would not take away from that at all because they really took care of me. And not only did they take care of me, they also entertained me. We had a good time. And that reaffirmed, like, you know, that whole situation and the way it played out really reaffirmed that for me. Because I already knew that these 2 people were my actual friends. I consider them my actual friends. But when you're in a vulnerable state like that, and you have 2 people that are just really making sure that you're okay and listening to you be stupid and ask stupid questions and say dumb things and talk about maybe your personal life more than you would intend to on a regular basis, but I've shared with them anyway, you know, even when I was completely sober, I've shared with them. So it really was just, everything was just reaffirming, you know. I had also read that you feel closer to your pets Well, me and Bijou already have such a close relationship that when I was on acid, it just reaffirmed that too. It was like, you know what? I really do get this little girl, and she really does get me. Me and Bijou are absolute best friends. Like when it comes down to it, yes, I love my friends, and I love all the people that take care of me, and because mostly people take care of me by like just being good friends and making sure, like, not making sure, but making me feel like I'm genuinely loved and appreciated. And that I feel that all the time when I'm here, like completely drug free and everything else aside. I just feel like people here always have my back. And so when I was on acid, it just reaffirmed that. And then when it came to my little Bijou, like I said, it's like I really do appreciate the people that are around me, but Bijou is my best friend, even if she doesn't want to be. She's always got to take care of me. She's always got to be here for me. I've always got to be here for her. I've always got to make sure that she's got food or she's got somebody to watch her if I got to be on the road and I can't watch her myself. I mean, like, there's a lot of ways that we take care of each other. And yeah, she really does take care of me, even though she's a little tiny doggy. Sometimes even just by being there for me when I'm in kind of my darkest moments, when Bijou's there, it makes the world better. It makes sure that I have a reason to leave the house. I have to leave my place so that I can take her potty. And then it's like, okay, well, if I'm going to take her potty, then I might as well go to the gym. And, it also reaffirmed my thinking when it comes to the way I handle situations and the way I have handled situations. Like there's times where I feel like a fool for the way I handled my breakup and the way that I made sure that he had everything that he owned as far as what he brought into the relationship. There's a couple of things that I just didn't notice, didn't think of that, like a couple of wall hangings or whatever you would call them, wall decorations, whatever. Stuff like that I really didn't think about. And then after he left, I was like, oh yeah, actually that was his. So there's that stuff, But for the most part, I gave him, and I made sure he got everything that was important back to him, and stuff that, I guess if I wanted to be vindictive, I could have thrown away, like medication and stuff that wasn't medication, but he had it. If I was trying to be a dick like that, I definitely could have done that. And sometimes I do feel like, because when he took my jeans or stuff like that, I feel like, well, maybe I should have fucked him over too. But the bigger part of me feels like it's better to let people, not give people any reason to resent you any further or try to, feel like maybe you were trying to sabotage them or anything like that. And not because of them, but because of you, because of your personal growth, because of where you're trying to get to. And so when I was on acid, I, of course, thought about all that stuff too. And the overwhelming sense that I had when I was thinking about it was just like, no, you handled that right. Like, you are supposed to just make sure that you're doing things the right way, even if the other person chooses not to necessarily do them the right way, because there's things that they took or ways that they didn't necessarily make sure that I was completely compensated for some of the things that that they did damage to. But I can't be caught up on what it is other people could have done better or needed to do in a different way. What I can concentrate on is what I need to be doing. And so I had that sense. And so overall, I had a really good time on acid. It was nice to have so many things reaffirmed and confirmed for me. I didn't have any of the big epiphanies, but I also feel like that's because I've been working on myself so much lately that it was nothing against acid or in my experience. It was just something that couldn't be that dramatic because I've been working on myself so much, and a lot of people can't see it because it's not something I talk about, and I'm not going to like formal therapy or anything like that. But every day I'm thinking about how I personally can be better. I'm thinking about how I can put out the frequency that I want to put out so that I can attract the people. And I don't mean in the sexual way or anything like that. I mean just in general, attract the people that I need to have around me so that I'm living the best way possible and surrounded by the best people I can possibly be surrounded by. And that, again, doesn't mean like networking type people or stuff like that. To me, what that means is people that want to see me grow, people that want to see me do well. And that's all I want to be around myself, as far as like the reverse of it. Like, I only want to be around people that I want to wish well upon. I only want to be around people that I can actually help. In a lot of cases, I hang out with only comedians that are, like, I'll talk to anybody and I'll be friendly with anybody, but as far as who I actually hang out with, I only actually hang out with comedians that I feel like have potential, because it's like, well, one day I'm gonna need somebody to work for me, work with me on the road. One day I'm gonna have somebody hit me up and be like, do you know any comics that fit into XYZ or would be good for these particular rooms? And I want to be able to look to the people around me and say, like, hey, you guys, I can get you guys some jobs. There's some work available for you guys. If you guys are open to it, then I would definitely love to hook you up with these people and plug you in. And those are the kinds of people that I want to be around. Also, there's like the saying that you are basically what is it? You are, I can't remember the equivalent, I think, of the 5 people closest to you. And that's the way I see a lot of things. I really do feel that way. Like, what association equals assimilation is a lot of times what people used to say, or I knew people that used to say that quite a bit. And like, for me, that's so true. Like, you hang out with people too much, you hang out with people that are like, really good, really positive, really motivated people, that's going to rub off on you, and that's what you're going to be. You hang out with people that are always down in the dumps, and I don't mean like clinical depression, I mean always looking at things from the most negative, pessimistic way possible. Eventually you're going to start doing that. You hang out with people that are in constant negative patterns, well, eventually you're going to mimic that, and you're going to be in constant negative patterns. And I've been through all of that. I've dealt with those kinds of people, I've hung out with those kinds of people, I've at points turned into those kinds of people. But the truth is, that's not where I'm at now. So yeah, there was a lot of reassuring things that happened when I was on acid, but overall, all it did was confirm that I'm on the right road. I'm doing what it is I need to be doing. Stay on the track that I'm on. Don't let yourself get too distracted. And basically keep doing what you're doing. So yeah, I did enjoy my experience on acid. I had a really good time. It was a really fun break from everything that's been going on lately, just in my mind. And there's a lot of things that I don't talk about on my podcast or here, which, there's a lot of stuff that I don't let you guys know. And it's only because in a lot of cases it's stuff that nobody can help with anyway, and I'm already talking out in my own head and figuring out the best ways to handle and that kind of stuff. So it's not anything I would necessarily burden anybody with, outside some of my really good friends that I've talked to about pretty much everything. But it's it was stressful for a minute there, and it was so nice to just have a night to break loose. And I would say overall, like I said, I had a really great time on it, but it wasn't anything groundbreaking enough that I'm just going to start doing it now and exploring my mind. I'm going to continue to explore my mind in a sober way. Acid was fun. Will I do it in the next 6 months, in the next year? Possibly, if somebody just has it and we're having that kind of fun. But more than likely, I'm just going to continue to be straight up me, sober state of mind. I don't want to smoke weed. I went drinking last night just because I felt like that too. I felt like, well, since I'm taking this weekend to like let my mind rest, then I'll go ahead and have a couple drinks. And I had a couple drinks, but it didn't turn into a wild, crazy time, and I wasn't looking for a wild, crazy time. Again, I just went with another close friend of mine, and it was just nice to have a break from all the self-discipline that I've been exercising lately. But it also, that was reaffirmed too, just from the whole weekend. It was just like, yeah, you're meant to be on that track, and you're meant to go to the gym like you've been going to the gym, and you're meant to continue to work on your body the way you're working on it. So nothing's going to change because of the acid trip, except for I really did realize also that I could be focusing so much more, and I need to focus so much more. So there's that, and that's my critique of my first acid experience. I appreciate everybody that saw me that night, and I felt, like I said, like all of them were taking care of me, even though some of them didn't even know I was on anything because I just stayed away from everybody. But yeah, I just, it's really nice to have it confirmed that you're doing things the right way and feel like, okay, I'm on the right track and this is where I want to be and this is where I should be. So if you get a chance, please like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.